Welcome to Richmond Events Podcast, Leaders in the Industry, where we sit together with top-notch leaders discussing important topics in HR, IT, marketing, finance, and healthcare industry. Today's topic will be mainly about artificial intelligence in the healthcare industry, and for this we have invited Bart De Witte, a leading expert for digital transformation in healthcare. And he will talk about artificial intelligence in this industry. Sit back and enjoy. Well, Bart De Witte held a great inspiring keynote at our first Richmond Healthcare Forum 2022 in Bad Ragaz, lightening the situation of future in AI usage and potential in healthcare. Bart De Witte is a leading expert for digital transformation, working for many years for top tech companies in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, latest for SAP in Switzerland as Business Development Director. He also is the founder of the Hippo AI Foundation, the first global NGO to democratize artificial intelligence in medicine, as well as he is the Digital Health Academy Director. Bart, welcome. What comes in your mind regarding the Richmond Healthcare Forum in Bad Ragaz?
Well, the first thing I want to go back immediately. The setting and the location was stunning, but as well the audience and the people that attended the conference was a very good mix of leaders from different areas within the healthcare industry, and I had the possibility or to share my ideas and my views with an audience that can set an agenda. And I think that was quite interesting for me, that the amount of people that have a leadership role and then really can steer, perhaps based on the information I shared, the healthcare system into a more positive direction when we talk about AI. Was something I haven't seen a lot. Like the amount of leaders coming together in such a beautiful location was quite unique.
Yeah, thank you. Sounds good. And you're welcome back every time if you like to share more of your knowledge with us. Following this, in your presentation, which I followed as well on the Richmond Healthcare Forum, you integrated deep learning and machine learning into the overall aspect of artificial intelligence. Can you shortly recap on this?
Yes, because when we talk about artificial intelligence, of course, nothing of what we do today is based on human intelligence. Like it is still a research field or domain where we try to replicate human intelligence, and there are specific methods in there. The overall umbrella, what is now hyped, is the ability that machines can learn out of data. And within that machine learning field, there are different methods, of which one is deep learning, which is built on neural networks, is one of them. But there is also linear regression, which probably everybody who did statistics remembers as something that is just a statistical method. But this statistical method, linear regression, belongs as well to the umbrella machine learning, and machine learning belongs to the umbrella of AI research. So to make these discussions easier, most people talk about AI while knowing that there is a vast amount of differentiation needed. But if you talk to a broader audience, it's confusing to make these differentiations, as nobody or most people don't have the ability or the knowledge to differentiate here. So simplifying things helps to better understand the context, what my presentation was about.
You just mentioned that the understanding of AI sometimes is very confusing. Can you step a little bit deeper into this? What your experience is there? What you notice when you travel around the globe, talking with people in this field, but also especially outside this field, how they are interested in learning more about artificial intelligence and to get rid of this confusing situation?
Yeah, there is like the way how these AI methods that we use, for example, deep learning, create in a sort of intelligence or mimic human intelligence, is not the way how humans learn. Like we haven't been able to build these systems yet. So that means that the times where these systems are giving wrong answers leads to mostly surprising reactions because the wrong answers are really wrong. Because some of these systems don't understand world concepts that well as humans can. And it's based on statistics or augmented statistics and data. So sometimes things that these systems haven't seen are hard to recognize or to react on. So it is sometimes surprising, although we call these systems intelligent, that some of the systems can make mistakes that even a 3-year-old child wouldn't make. But this is all about training. So I think that is what is for a lot of people confusing, that when they think about intelligence, they think about Einstein and not about a system that cannot even answer a question that a 2-year-old child perhaps could point at. The second thing is that these systems are always very specific on the domain they are trained on. That means an AI system that knows healthcare or radiology within healthcare cannot drive a car, and humans can. Humans can cover multiple domains. These AI systems cannot cover multiple domains yet. We are closer to getting there. The current hype around ChatGPT shows this, because ChatGPT just passed an MBA exam, and it passed as well the medical exam. So it can handle these different domains quite well.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Also, thinking back on your presentation you held, you also claimed that one big benefit of artificial intelligence is the potential to multiply, to duplicate the world through modeling. Can you point out a little bit more on this? What you especially mean, maybe with some examples as well?
Yeah, it came from the duplication theory, comes from more like from social theory, from Professor Armin Azehi, who said, like, when we digitize, we duplicate the world through data, and now we can apply machine learning models or AI methods on that data. And this allows us to kind of create prediction models that are based on our world. The one that everybody knows is the weather prediction. The weather prediction is based on data, historical data, on measurements, on the air pressure, the temperatures, and it then creates a sort of prediction for the next 5 days. Everybody who is a bit older knows that these models have become more and more accurate. And the reason is that we are getting more data, historical data, we're getting more measuring points, and our ability to work with machine learning models increases. Now, copy data or the weather and copy this on our body, then we can, instead of predicting the weather, we can predict perhaps an onset of disease. So you can collect data from somebody's body and then do simulations on that data. And then you can do certain predictions. And these predictions can be about the risk stratification for diseases. It can be as well watching through X-ray images of my body and then telling, well, I think with a certain percentage, I predict that within this image, there is bad weather, which in this case would be perhaps a disease, which is perhaps cancerous or a tumor or anything else. So we are using these duplications, these digital data duplications for AI modeling, and we are using these models to predict an onset of a certain event. And this event can be in healthcare, a diagnosis, or selecting the right therapy. And it can go, the more complex these models become, the better these predictions can be, and the more accurate they will become.
With some examples which you just stated as well, you still support the statement that AI in healthcare creates still has a huge potential. It's almost a quota that we have met in Switzerland. Is it still valid? Do you see huge steps in this way and further development?
Well, it is a double-edged sword because AI is a very powerful technology, and the question will always be who owns that technology and who allows others to give access to that technology. So if we can, because it's about what these methods or AI does is, we can extract knowledge out of data, and the machines can learn out of the data. And then the second thing, we can scale that knowledge in each corner of this planet. So if you think about scaling medical expert advice, and then you think about low-income countries in Africa or in India or other regions in the world, the potential is huge to give people access to healthcare. But the current trend is that, of course, the data that we need to train these models, and as well the models, are being privatized by companies that want to make these things scarce. And if you make these things scarce by setting a higher price, you will not get these benefits that reduce the inequalities that we see on a global level. You perhaps can increase it. So it's a double-edged sword. It can or make this world a much better place, or it can give a very strong power in the hands of a few that don't share that idea or values that everybody should have the right to get access to healthcare in my domain.
Yeah, and everyone should get access. You talked about the democratization of knowledge. What exactly do you mean with this, and can you spot on this maybe a little bit?
Yeah, this goes further on that what I said before, that there are quite a lot of or certain organizations and investors that are interested in capturing value, economical value out of these developments, and they want to keep things for themselves and then create scarcity. That means that they don't want to give everybody access to these tools, and if by doing so you set a price. That is not democratization, that is appropriation or privatization. And I think that such a technology such as AI in the field of medicine should be a technology that is available to all, like the internet is available to all. The technologies around the internet are open source. So I do think that to give everybody access to life-saving knowledge and advance society as a whole, globally, we should do an effort to democratize the data and the AI models that we use to build solutions. So everybody in the future has the capacity or the capability to build solutions in a local, social, cultural context. It's a bit like giving access to the alphabet so everybody can write a book. And if we would live today, there are kind of organizations that want to privatize the alphabet. So every time you write a book, you need to pay licenses per letter. But in data, they don't. It is much more complex. But it's similar. Like there are people that want to prohibit us for using these tools because they want to claim ownership. And I oppose this view because I think that we, as humanity and as a society, we should use AI to advance us in progress and not to move backwards into times where knowledge was not available and dark. And that was the times before the Enlightenment happened that brought us all that progress. But I'm now getting philosophical, so I'm going too deep here.
We're a little bit running out of time, but maybe a short answer on a long question. What keeps you awake in the healthcare industry, and where do you think we can go within the next 5 years?
So what keeps me awake is exactly the dilemma that I discussed before, that who will win, who will earn and reap the benefits of AI? Will that be a few wealthy organizations that keep that power for themselves, or are we as humanity smart enough to collaborate based on our shared values, norms, and principles to make this something that allows us to flourish as humanity and to finally perhaps go to a path where health inequalities are a thing of the past.
Thank you very much. Bart, again, it was a pleasure listening to you, learning again a lot. Thank you very much. And I think we're going to meet soon again and see you again on stage on one of our Richmond Events Forum. Thank you very much.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Thank you.